much better. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here, back with another movie review. Guys, I know this review is near 2 weeks late, and there's probably even no point in reviewing this movie anymore, but I felt, I gave this movie, I physically gave this movie money. I am going to review this thing no matter what. But guys, of course, the movie I'm going to be reviewing in this video is Pixels. Yeah, the movie that released alongside Southpaw a week after Ant-Man came out. Not a good idea. They should have just, if they really wanted this movie to make any more money, if people actually care about Adam Sandler movies anymore, they totally should have just released this thing in August. But anyway, guys, Pixels is the newest Adam Sandler comedy? Yeah, I think I could call it that because Adam Sandler's in it. They tried to make it funny and it didn't really work, as we all expected. And now we have Pixels, and it's directed by Chris Columbus, the man who directed Home Alone back in 1990. Are you kidding me? Let's move on. And he also directed the first two Harry Potter movies, so now he can add Pixels to his resume. And guys, as you can tell, yeah, I clearly wasn't looking forward to this movie. As you can tell, I've reviewed this movie nearly 2 weeks after it came out. I wanted to see it on Bargain Tuesday. I did not want to give this movie anything more than $8, which unfortunately is the Bargain Tuesday price where I live, but whatever. I'll live with it. But I kid you not, as I handed over the $8, I literally I wanted to just snatch it back and just run. Okay, but no, I decided to go see Pixels. Yay. Anyway, guys, Pixels is basically about aliens that invade the Earth with nostalgic 80s arcade games. Actually, a pretty good premise when you think about it. I mean, like, alright, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When the trailer first came out and I heard the premise, before I watched the trailer, I said, oh wow, that's actually pretty cool. And I didn't know who was cast in this thing. And then I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. We haven't seen anything like that before. Video game, arcade games are attacking the Earth in the form of Pac-Man and Galaga. How awesome is that? And then I watched the trailer and I saw who was in this movie. And that first shot that he was in, and I said, oh boy, now the good feeling's gone. Okay, any good feeling, any good hope I had for this movie went right down the toilet. And yes, guys, Adam Sandler in this movie, it stars as a, well, when the movie first starts out, as an 80s arcade game nerd, had a couple friends, was a badass at certain arcade games like Galaga and whatnot, ends up losing a championship to a young Peter Dinklage, and then years later, he fixes TVs, and who cares, yeah. And, of course, when the Earth is under attack by these aliens, after we sent a videotape up into space with recordings of the arcade games, now the aliens want to attack. Okay. And it's up to Adam Sandler because he has knowledge of arcade games, as well as Kevin James, who is the President of the United States. Oh, I'll get into that one in a little bit. As well as Josh Gad and Peter Dinklage and Michelle Monaghan, and that's Pixels. That's it, guys. That's all I want to discuss with this movie, okay, in regards to the premise. But, again, as I said, when I first heard the premise of this movie, think about it. Video game nostalgia, from the 80s. Arcade games that I myself have played, even though I didn't grow up in the 80s. But they still have Pac-Man around and Galaga games, in arcade shops here or there around the world. And I've played them, myself growing up. And I always loved Pac-Man. I always did. I remember there was this bowling alley I went to, and they always had Pac-Man there. I played it a couple times. I loved it. And to see all of these video game arcades, or video arcade games, just come to life in a movie like this, that is actually a really solid idea. Unfortunately, with the way the film is cast, with the way the film is written, with the certain jokes that are thrown in the movie that do not work completely at all, Pixels just is an utter disgrace, in my opinion. And it sucked, guys, okay? Did anyone think this was going to be great after seeing these trailers, after seeing Adam Sandler and Kevin James in a Pixels, in a arcade game movie about 80s arcade games? Did anyone really think this was going to be a good movie? I really hope nobody thought this was going to be good. But yeah, I went into this theater with the lowest of the low expectations. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. The first, like, not half hour, the first, like, 10 minutes or so, I was into it. I was like, alright, this is cool. I like this. I like how they're establishing these kids. They're excited about arcade games. That's what kids had back in the 80s. And there's this championship, and then what becomes Adam Sandler's character loses, and I grew into that. And then we cut right to Adam Sandler and Kevin James, and we have a ridiculous scene where Kevin James, as the president, I'll get into that, is reading a book to young children in a school, and he can't spell the word catastrophic. That's Pixels, guys. That is the level of humor we have in Pixels. Oh my god, guys. Oh boy. I mean, it had potential, okay? And I thought it was just going to be the way that the film was executed. I mean, yeah, it's executed in a very poor way in terms of dialogue, but it's like the problems of this movie arose when they were writing the damn script. I mean, half of the jokes in this movie are entirely outdated. I mean, we have jokes, revolving jokes that are used more than once in this movie, with Martha Stewart and Serena Williams. If this movie came out in 2005, okay, maybe that'd be a lot more funnier than it is in 2015. We're still getting jokes about Harry Potter, and yeah, okay, the Harry Potter joke, right? Chris Columbus directed the first Harry Potter films. Yeah, that's great. Harry Potter jokes. I mean, are you kidding me? They're cramming all these pop culture references in there. There's literally a scene where Adam Sandler is insulting a room of board members and Kevin James, and he's just calling them all these different pop culture references. And this movie is for families, okay? It's one of those family kids movies, you know. But the older audience members are going to understand these references, and they're not funny at all, so they're not going to laugh. The young kids that go to see this movie are 100% not going to understand what Harry Potter is, or Martha Stewart for that matter, and they're not going to laugh at those either. But then all the stupid, piss-poor humor and all that just garbage jokes that still aren't making me and older audience members laugh, you know, the kids are going to love. But young kids are going to love that. And that's why Pixels ultimately fails. It's not going to appeal to any one particular moviegoer member. It's just a mess in terms of the humor. And I still am amazed at the outdated humor they had in the movie. I really, really am. I also think the movie is definitely not a kid's movie, and definitely should have at least been rated PG-13. Josh Gad is making out with a video game character in this movie who is incredibly gorgeous to look at, but incredibly scantily clad. Yeah, the kids are really great movie for kids. No, I mean, oh, God. I mean, I don't know, guys. Again, I think that someone really sat down in a room with Sony. By the way, Sony product placement, just, I'm sick of it. But somebody sat down in a room with a bunch of people in a board meeting, and they were like, let's make a movie about 80s arcade games, okay? It's going to be very nostalgic. All those people who played those games are going to go into the theater. Let's do something like that. And then the whole room was just like, yeah, awesome. And then Sony said, no, wait a second. Let's make this movie funny. Let's make it a comedy. Let's get Adam Sandler and Kevin James to star in the two lead roles, and then it'll get more people into those seats, right? Right. Okay, let's make this movie. And then let's just throw in every bit of Sony product placement known to man. Just all over the place. Okay, that's what they said making this movie. And I think that's where they honestly went wrong, because the addition of Adam Sandler and Kevin James, who are just, I don't remember the last time either of them made a good movie. Okay, Kevin James is 2 for 2 this year with Pixels and Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Nice job, Kevin James. You really are making great career choices, man. and Adam Sandler. I'll give this movie this much: this is nowhere near as bad as half of Sandler's most recent films. Nowhere near as bad. It doesn't even come close to like Grown Ups or anything like that. Like it's not that bad. Like it's more tolerable, but it's still like not even as good as what Sandler used to make back in the 90s and whatnot, in the early 2000s. I think his career died sometime after Click, to be completely honest with you. I haven't seen a good movie from him since then, and I don't think we're going to anymore. And I'm so glad this movie did not make more money at the box office. I'm glad it bombed. Maybe he'll give up. Maybe he'll retire, even though he's one of the most profitable actors of today, of course. And Kevin James as the president. Did somebody really... Who cast it? I really got to go look up who cast this frickin' movie. Who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to cast Kevin James as the President of the United States? One of the worst movie presidents we've ever had in the history, if not the absolute worst. A damn president who doesn't even know how to spell. And I get it, it's for laughs, it's for gags, it's just to get young kids to laugh. Oh, he doesn't know how to spell catastrophic, whatever. That's not funny, and it's not logical at all. If anyone was to write a screenplay based on logic, I mean, it's not, okay? I mean, I know that they were going for laughs, but it's so dumb, and it's so just not funny, it doesn't work, okay? I mean, that's what just makes this movie not even the shred, at least, believable at all. There is no believability in this movie whatsoever, and I know it's a movie about aliens in the form of arcade games. Pac-Man and Galaga, okay? I know, okay? You gotta really suspend your disbelief for this movie. But when you have some more serious elements of this movie, you can't take them seriously because they don't even take them seriously, okay? The screenwriters. And that's some of the worst praise I have to give Pixels. I mean, everybody's wasting this movie. None of the jokes work. I laughed one time in this entire movie. Once. That's it. And I don't even know why I laughed. I think it was just an accident. Alright, just the jokes are outdated, they're stupid, they're dumb, they're not funny, they're not appealing. Alright, the plot itself, the dialogue is terrible, the acting is bad, the characters all suck. I mean, not one of them are even that remotely likable. The only thing I can give Pixels is that the CGI looked good, the action scenes where they're firing at them, and there's a nice chase scene in New York City that was pretty fun to watch. But, I mean, it's just... I mean, all that is just brought to crap with lazy Adam Sandler, their lazy jokes, and the fact that they didn't need to be in this movie. They could have literally cast anybody in these two roles, but they pick Adam Sandler and Kevin James, two of the worst actors who just make bad decision after bad decision working today. And that's why I hate Pixels. Please do not see this movie, guys. Just please don't. I also enjoyed the 80s soundtrack. That's it, okay? Those are the only two redeeming qualities for this entire movie. What a waste. What a waste of potential. What a disgrace. Just another bad film for Adam Sandler, and I don't know when he's going to learn. I really just seriously convinced he just wants money. And that's why he doesn't care about the quality of his films anymore. He doesn't. I don't. I'm done. That's Pixels, guys. I don't want to talk about it anymore. There's just nothing to talk about. When you don't even care about the movie you're working on, you throw in lazy, outdated jokes that just aren't funny. There's so many moments of silence in this movie where I can tell they were going for a laugh, but there is not one thing even to remotely laugh at. That is when you know your movie has failed. And Pixels indeed failed, and I'm so glad it was a failure. And if I see one more damn Sony product placement, guys, I'm done. Okay, that's it, Pixels, whatever. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10 or a D+. Again, those 1-2 redeeming qualities are it. That's it. The soundtrack and the CGI looks good. There's some interesting chase scenes. The final action sequence was pretty fun, but there's really nothing else in this movie. It shouldn't have been a comedy. It should have been better. It could have been better. Why wasn't it better? But that's Pixels for you guys. I'm glad it failed, and please don't see this movie. Don't even rent it. It's just not a waste. It's just a waste of time. Okay, that's one of the biggest problems with the movie as well. It's a waste of time. It's forgettable. You are going to walk out of this here. You are literally going to forget everything about this movie. Ever. Okay, there's going to be nothing memorable about this movie at all. And that's all I have to say about Pixels, guys. Guys, if you did see this movie, please tell me you haven't. Let me know what you thought of it down below. Do you think Adam Sandler just... Is he doing this on purpose, or does he really care and thinks he's working on a good movie? In that case, that's even worse. I think he's doing it on purpose just for the cash. That's just me. I think he stopped caring long ago, like I have as well. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.